Wake up. All praises to wake the up. Most High. Call. Survive. Wake up. Call. This is a wake up call. Wake up. Let's get yes. Wake up when you hear that voice speaking to you. Don't go back to sleep. You have been chosen in usual gifts and talents to wake up all the lost sheep. Wipe the cold out your eye, get up out of the bed and praise the Father with your arms stretched. And let the Holy Spirit come and take control. She be moving faster than a jet. Now many get called, so you should be happy that the Most High kept you in mind. It's a narrow path, so as long as you focus, there's no way you'll fall out of line. We surrounded by evil, but all we gotta do is let it know who's in control. My temple is occupied by Christ, don't have to say it, cause they already know. We battle the flesh every day, and sometimes we be walking around here drowsy. Get that wake up call, then we back up. When our spirit low, then we look lousy. When it comes down to this truth, a lot of your friends and family gon' hate you. They still sleep until they wake up, they won't understand this holy nature. We are the light in the trumpet, we shine and letting our presence be heard. Now, every person, place, or thing gon' feel all these spiritual verbs. Take action, cause we already know that the kingdom is at hand. We don't kneel down to no flag, cause every knee shall bow to the Son of Man. Stand and keep moving forward and following Yeshua's plan. Don't let the evil keep on beating you up, then leaving you swollen like glands. You under a spell, it's time for a wake-up call to get you out of that trance. And once you get out of that trance, you don't have to move, cause your spirit gon' dance. Yes, out of the chief, the power in me could never get beat. Unless I drop the ball, then here's the trust incomplete. I'm in the field, no cleats, and I ain't thinking cotton. No silver spoon in my mouth, it's just the word I'm dropping. People be acting like they got it all together, but they liars. They cannot handle the raw truth. They thought it was sweet like papaya. We doing our part and putting in work to help build this holy empire. There's only one body. If you break away, there's no way you'll survive on your own. You will shrivel up, then get eaten by maggots. Their belly will be your new home. That's the only way you will be fly. You were called, but you never reply. You wolves, how you live your life. So you got spit up by the Most High. Leaning on your understanding, only got you granted a ticket to fry. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears, although you're not in Kansas no more. You let the riches of the world trip you up and then your spirit on the flow.
Shalom, baby girl.
Brothers and sisters, and I pray y'all praying for me. Iron sharpen iron, so let's all sharpen each other continuously. Sharp. And we not training like no samurai. We training like my Savior Christ. So every day you're higher, he will be magnified.
Shalom, auntie. We sing you on what's name, alright?
He hold the keys to the kingdom, so we better be on our best behavior. Wake up, and it don't have to be the first of the month. I'm too busy putting in work. You too lazy laying down and hurt. You must be crazy cause you letting your flesh bring you down and cover you with dirt. You wish you could get on your feet, but when you do, it seems like you just do worse.
Shalom, we sing you on what's name.
You must be deaf. You better
Shalom, Bishop.
Why you still have a little bit of oxygen left.
Shalom, Tawana.
It's almost last call for righteousness. Fear the Most High to bring wisdom. I wouldn't want to settle for less. I don't worry about what the world do. I can only control what I think. If you don't listen to what I told you, you gon' wonder why you are not safe. And why you can't stop falling off. No staring whether you headed for a lake. Not talking the beach, but it's gonna be hotter than anything that you can think. This song is a wake-up call. I pray that you listen and paying attention. You got a few stops on the wrist. And then you headed to detention. I pray you do right and learn your lesson, or else you can keep your distance. The principle is the Most High. Don't play around and get suspended. No.
Well, we got you out.
I'm praying for you.
We're definitely gonna be with you. You stay on with us tonight, and we're definitely go in agreement with you out.
I'm praying for
as
you.
the sun go down, we're gonna lift up. We're gonna lift up them Sabbaths. Lift up your prayers on the Sabbath.
Yes.
Stay with us. Shalom, Facebook fam. Shalom to all my people on YouTube. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 17 of the transformation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African-American man. Tonight we'd like to give all praise and honor to a higher Bahashem Yeshaya, Royal Walk. And for those who are not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High in the name of Christ as well as the Holy Spirit. Once again, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 17 of the transformation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African-American man who is from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking time to join us out of your busy schedule. We do not take your time for granted. We just give all praise to the Most High for bringing us back out here today. It was kind of awkward not being with you all last week, but best trust and sure You know what I'm saying? We were we were off doing some great work and having some great fellowship and worship with the brethren down in Jacksonville, Florida. Shouts out to Moray Brown. Shouts out to Boom Atlanta. Shouts out to my aunt Casey on us with us tonight. Shouts out to my auntie Moray Ranice up in Ohio. Shouts out to Boom Jacksonville. Shouts out to New Rebirth. Moray Derrick. Shouts out to J. Luke. Listen, man. Listen. I could do a whole lesson. You understand? A whole extensive lesson on what the Most High did for us down in Jacksonville, Florida last weekend. Man, it was crazy. You understand? The bridge, it was crazy. Israelites in the same building with Christians, fellowship and coming together as one body. Let me tell you something, man. It was like, I'm telling you, it was great to meet everybody, man. I'm trying not to start naming names, man, because, I met so much family, man. Like, literally, like, I got like 50, 60 friend requests coming in, like, from Sunday to Monday. It was crazy, bananas. You understand? It was crazy, man. And I could do a whole lesson on the experience, the impartation, the connections, everything that the Most High did for us down there. And for those who will be with us every Sabbath, and my deacon can verify this, because I was telling people that when we was down there, starting like middle of June 2018, the Most High started leading us from we went from the awakening to the resurrection to transformation. During the time of resurrection, the teaching series Resurrection, the Most High started gearing our lessons back to reaching out to our Christian brothers and sisters. Did he not, D? Mm-hmm. Mid-June 2018, we did start Transformation Tuesdays to reach to our Christian brothers and sisters. We started Soulful Sundays to reach to our Christian brothers and sisters. That was what the Most High through the Spirit was telling us at here at Better Day Ministries. I go down to the James 11 conference. That's where Moray Brown's vision is. I started meeting all these brothers and sisters, Christians and Israelites, who the Most High was shifting in that same direction. It was so much confirmation. If the people thought I was crazy there with my hands raised and tears in my eyes, it was because of that. You understand? It was because what he started telling me last year is what I saw him telling people all around the country. You understand? The Most High is ready for this real remnant to come. And it's not going to come in the manner in which people think it's going to come. This is about to be so much bigger. You understand? My family, my Hebrew family, my Christian family grew tremendously overnight. Tell them, Casey, that worship was real. I'm talking about everybody all over the room, man. Hundreds of people, man. It was like none other. Like I said, I could do a whole lesson on that, but I'm not going to get into that tonight. I just want to thank the Most High publicly for all your prayers, and everybody know what happened to us Sunday coming back. That's crazy, but that's a whole nother thing in itself. But for the next 23 minutes, until the sun go down, because we don't begin the Sabbath lesson until the sun go down. As I begin to continue to go through this, just breaking out what the Most High said, we're gonna open the doors. We're gonna open the doors for a Q&A session. So you got 23 minutes for anyone who has a question, biblical questions, who'd like us to address those questions before we get started in the lesson. The sun goes down today, 8:35 Eastern. So for the next 22 minutes, if anyone has a question, biblical question, like as we always say, don't ask me a question about no particular church, no particular camp, no particular person. As long as it is a biblical question, you understand, we will address that for the next 22 minutes. As soon as that sun go down, we're going straight into the Sabbath. But as I was saying, man, it was just, so while you got your thoughts, I'm going to continue to talk for those who was on. It was crazy. It was something that I could have never planned for. All the brothers and sisters that we gained down there, the new family that we have around this country, I couldn't even you can't write this with a script what took place. When you had Israelites and Christians in the same building and everybody coming together, it was like none other, man. It was like none other. Then now it's what we're going to do next. It's what we're going to do next. You see, I hadn't been receiving a lot of flack from Israelites because, as I was telling the brethren down there up in our area, we deal mostly with Christians. So the flack that I'm getting is my former pastors, peers, and people that I used to work with when we used to do all this traveling. But I see how my brothers and sisters down there have been getting, attacks and ridicule. And our elders was encouraging us and inspiring us on these things, how we're going to do going forward. So I just thank the Most High for what He has done. But I'm so much more excited for what's coming. And here at the Better Day Ministries, we're going to continue to go forth. Like I said, we got this new family that we're going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with. You understand? And we're going to continue to go forward, and we're going to do what thus says the Most High. Whether people are feeling it or not, but we're going to be a part of this remnant, and we're going to make sure that we can do what we can to wake up all those, whether it be those in the Christian church, whether it be Israelites that's in another camp, whether it be people in the conscious movement, Kemet's, whoever you is. If you'll give us an opportunity, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do whatever we can do to reach our brothers and sisters. So we thank the Most High for that. Dick, you got anything, man? I know you've been sitting on this stuff for a week. You know what I'm saying? So if anything you got burning in the spirit right now, you can drop it too as well. But like I said, we got 20 minutes. We're just gonna continue to just expound on some things. For those, like I said, you got any questions or something, make sure you put those in, and we want to address those. We're gonna give opportunity for 20 minutes for a Q&A. I do got some things that some people asked me before, but I'm trying to hold off on that because I want to make sure if we have any prevalent questions right now, I want to address those because I want to make sure that once that sun go down to 8:35, we can go straight into the Sabbath lesson. But as we're preparing for any questions that are asked, I do want to go ahead and start giving a preview on tonight's lesson. Tonight's lesson is entitled, "Why Can't It Be You?" Why can't it be you? And we're going to be talking tonight specifically to the men. In honor of Father's Day, as we did back on Mother's Day, and I know a lot of Israelites, say these days are pagan or whatever, and they got their reasons for why they don't acknowledge these days. I understand, do what you got to do, whatever your conscience is leading you. And I hear the whole arguments. You're supposed to honor your mother and father, every day. I know that sounds good, whatever. But, however you see that, I ain't want to hold you in the bondage to that. But at a Better Day Ministries, we know that everybody ain't where we at. So we try to take time during these certain periods in May and June to acknowledge the women during Mother's Day time and to acknowledge the men during Father's Day, the time of Father's Day. And so tonight, Shalom, Tawana, good seeing you on with us tonight. So tonight, we have a lesson called "Why Can't It Be You?" Meaning that one of the things that our brothers are struggling with is because they see themselves through the eyes of their slave masters, of their captives. They see themselves through the eyes of their past sins. They see themselves through the eyes of their communities. They see themselves through the eyes of how media portrays them. They see themselves through the eyes of their current economic status, their current, level of education. And so one of the hardest things for our people that I've found in the last almost 6 years now when I've been in the truth is that people can't fathom that the so-called black man, that the so-called African-American man could be from the tribe of Judah, for the nation of Israel, could be God's chosen people. It's because the way the entire world sees them, the way they see themselves, it's so hard to believe that. And so we're going to talk about tonight, why can't it be you? Why can't you be God's chosen people? Why does it have to be someone else? You understand? And I've been seeing some things this today, in relation to the NBA Finals. Now, I know some people were being funny. Shouts out to my man Moray Brown, more major. He's been going in all day on the cast. I know he was being funny, but there are some people that's not being funny with this thing, this whole dark skin, light skin thing. And Most High's been dealing with me on that the last month or so, and we're gonna have to do a lesson on that because we need to see the origins of that. Because what I'm starting to see is this is not something that's only the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man is struggling with, but I'm also noticing it being a widespread thing when it comes to the whole entire 12 tribes. Because one of the reasons why a lot of people refuse to accept the Northern Kingdom, whether it be the so-called Mexican who's from the tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Gad, who is the so-called Native Americans, the Puerto Ricans who are the Ephraim, you understand, the so-called Dominicans who is the tribe of Simeon, the Latinos who is the so-called Latinos who is Zebulun, the people down in Asher, down in Colombia and Argentina, and so on and so on. One of the main things that you hear people say is because they're not of the quote-unquote Negro perspective. Matter of fact, as we hold off, because we got like 15 more minutes for the sun go down, let me get Hosea 7 and 8. Let me get that right quick. I want to bring that out. The Spirit's telling me to go here quickly because this whole light skin, dark skin thing, even though some people are being funny with it today, it's really not funny. You got sisters who are darker skinned who hate light skinned girls. You got light skinned girls who think just because they're light skinned that they're just whatever. You got brothers who hate light skinned dudes. It's crazy. It's like a real thing. And then now, in the truth, you're seeing because some of our brothers and sisters look lighter, they're automatically discounting them from being from the 12 tribes. You understand? That's the Hosea 7:8 right there. Okay. Let's bring this out right quick. Let's address this right quick. Hosea 7 and 8. Bring it out, D.
Ephraim has mixed himself among the people.
Ephraim has mixed itself among the people.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Now, so when you take a what's good with your Jay? Shalom. Good seeing you on with us tonight. When you take some flour and you put it in a frying pan, right? You put that cake batter in the frying pan. If you put that in that frying pan and you never flip that cake, what it's gonna be? On one side, that joint gonna be dark. On the other side, it's gonna be light. Read that again.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Ephraim, meaning the 10 tribes, because Ephraim became the king of the northern kingdom, is what?
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Ephraim is a cake not turned because it has mixed itself amongst the nations. So you're going to have people like Big Papi, you understand, who is Simeon from the so-called Dominicans. And then you're going to have a sister like Shorty Cardi B? You're going to have sisters like that, even lighter than that, who is Simeon, who is still from the same line. I was looking at a show the other night, and it was funny. I was saying to myself, the reporter on there, most people that seen her, they just said she was Edomite, so-called white person, right? But then they see the shorty with that looked like us, you thought she was black. But the so-called white girl, which was Cuban, actually, her dad was Cuban. She was Manasseh. But the so-called girl that everybody was calling black, her pops was white. So according to the Bible, according to Numbers, the first chapter, where your father's a pedigree, that woman is Edom. The other one is Manasseh. You understand? So I wanted to bring that out tonight because, like I said, I know people are doing this on some funny stuff today. Mostly it was funny. But what I'm saying is we as a people really need to address this whole light skin, dark skin thing. Because deep down, when you pull off all the layers of it, there are really a lot of animosity when it comes to that. You understand? And I think this is something that we really need to discuss. We really need to have a profound conversation with that. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: when the FEMA camps get to popping, you understand when the guns get drawn, they gunning down anybody with Israel blood in it. No matter how you look. This is what these DNA companies is really about. These ancestry companies. This is what they're really about. You understand? They're targeting Israel. And some of the people are sitting in their stuff voluntarily. You don't even understand. They're putting a stamp by your name to Israel. You understand? But like I said, we got 11 more minutes before the sun go down. And then we're gonna go straight into the lesson. Now, let me see. I got a question that was given to me the other day that I never got a chance to address. So for anybody that's on here with us, you understand? You got 10 minutes before the sun go down, and we're going straight into the lesson. But I want to make sure that if anyone have a question tonight, we want to address that. Let's see. Let me go back to my watch party here. Just gotta go to the watch party right quick, Jay. See what you see. See if there's a question in the watch party. And I'm gonna check the questions that I had the other day that I didn't get a chance to get to. All right. There's a question over there? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let's go here right quick. 1 second. Okay, now, someone was talking to me the other day, and they said, one of the questions that they said was, how do we know when a person is the one for us, right? In a sense where they were saying, how do we actually find someone? Shalom, Moray. Good seeing you on with us tonight, Ak. I was just talking about you, how you was getting on the light-skinned brothers the other day. One of the questions that was brought to me the other day is that how do we go about finding someone, that we know that's truly for us? So I'm going to spend the next 9 minutes, because when that sun go down at 8:35, we're going straight into the lesson. So let me go ahead and address this right quick. The question was, how do we actually find the person that was for us? Now, let's go to that. Let's go to Proverbs 18:22. I need you to hold that and get Proverbs the 3rd chapter. It said, how do you find a person for you? Right? It's a sweet recipe, but we got to make sure we find that recipe. Proverbs 18:22. I need you to hold that to get Proverbs 3. We're going to spend 8 minutes on this. As soon as the sun go down, we're going straight into the Sabbath lesson. Proverbs 18:22, D, bring that out.
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
Now, start from the beginning. Read that again.
Whoso findeth a wife.
Now, the question is, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, let me start with my ladies. Are you out there trying to be found, or are you out there trying to find someone? That is the question. Because if you're out there trying to find someone, you're already out of position. Okay? So the number one thing for my ladies is you need to stop looking. Shalom, Princess Ty. Good seeing you on this tonight. So the number one thing I need to tell all my sisters is stop looking for a man. You're not to be looking. You are to be found. Get off the dating websites. Stop presenting yourself as single and loving it. I'm looking for a man on social media. Cease to doing that immediately. Right? That's your first step. Read it again. Proverbs 18:22 says what?
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
So you see here that it's not he who found a husband. I seen Elder Demetri had to put a woman in place with that other day because she was trying to explain through reason and logic up to date that it was okay for women to propose to men. And the elder had to bring in Sweetie Pie and was like, no, that's off. But she just kept going on and on with it. And so Elder just like, okay, he just moved on. Ladies, I don't care what these women, this Me Too movement and all this are telling you. It is never okay for you to propose to a man. If that man allow you to propose to him, he's letting you know right now what type of man he is. You understand? So read that again. He says what?
Whoso findeth a wife findeth the good thing.
So he finds a wife, finds a good thing.
And obtaineth favor of the Lord.
He obtained favor from the Lord. So that tells us right there. There's two essential things that we got to see in that verse. Number one, in order for that man to find that wife and obtain that favor, he must be in a favorable position with the Most High in order to obtain that favor. For the woman to be found, she must be in a favorable position to be walking the path in order to be found. And we're going to see how you do that over in Proverbs 3. This is how you obtain favor. This is how you obtain anything in life, including the husband and the woman that the Most High has for you. Proverbs 3. Let's start at verse 1.
My son, forget not my law.
He says what?
My son, forget not my law.
No, he said, forget not my grace.
Forget not my law.
Right?
But let thine heart keep my commandments.
You see that? The number one thing that you have to do is what?
Keep my commandments.
Keep my commandments. You see, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the ultimate deal breaker. If you out here keeping the law, statute, commandments, and the holy days, honoring the Sabbath, that's going to prevent 90% of the people who say they're interested in you going any further. You understand? That's going to be your blocker right there. When you're not available from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, that's going to eliminate the majority of them. When you're not fornicating, that's going to eliminate the rest. When you're not doing anything outside of what the Most High Word says, that's going to be your ultimate firewall that's going to keep any from people who are not of the Most High from coming in. Okay? You can start with that. Read it again. He says what?
My son, forget not my law.
Right.
But let thine heart keep my commandments.
Right. Verse 2.
For length of days.
For what?
For length of days.
Right.
And long life. And peace shall they add to thee.
That's a sweet deal. Everybody's always talking about how hard it is to keep the Most High's law, but 1 John 5:3 said that his law is not grievous. But then Proverbs said he's going to do what?
For length of days.
Well, he's going to give you length of days.
And long life.
And long life.
And peace.
And peace.
Shall they add to thee.
So while you're looking for your husband, while you're looking for your wife, you'll have long days. So you don't have to worry about like, man, I'm running out of time. Oh, I'm troubled. I'm stressed out. No, keeping the law, statutes, commandments is going to keep all that away from you. You understand? Verse 3. We got 4 more minutes for the sun go down. Verse 3.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck.
Right.
Write them upon the table of thy heart.
Write them upon the table of thy heart.
So shalt thou find favor.
He said you're going to do what?
So shalt thou find favor.
With who?
And good understanding in the sight of God.
Outside of the Most High?
And man.
And man. So Proverbs 22 says that when a man finds his wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the law. But notice you see how in the first 3 verses, what it takes to actually to get favor. You see that? You will get favor with the Most High and with man. These things will put you into situations. They will put you on the path to be walking man, to be find your wife, and to be walking sister, to be found. And then the last part of it is this, verse 5.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
Now trust in Oprah, bro.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
Now you got to trust in popular opinion.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
Right?
And lean not unto thine own understanding.
You can't be breaking things down about how you see it, how you feel, what's good to you, what everybody else is saying. He says, do what?
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. And lean not unto thine own understanding.
Verse 6.
In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Nah, man, just sometimes, nah.
In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Nah, after you get married and got a bunch of kids and then trouble come.
In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Nah, once you start just fornicating a little bit and once the trouble come and you trying to figure it out.
In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Right?
And he shall direct thy path.
And he shall direct your path. That is the recipe. to receive anything from the Most High. We're talking specifically tonight with that question about finding the woman or the man that the Most High has for you. You follow that recipe of Proverbs 3, 1 through 6, and you will find your wife or be found you'll be found by your husband. Now, that was right on time. Sun's going down. Shabbat shalom to all my brothers and sisters out there. We pray that the Most High has been with you throughout this week. We thank the Most High higher for another opportunity to come to you on the Sabbath. Tonight's lesson is entitled, Why Can't It Be You? We're talking specifically to our men tonight who are stressing, who are concerned, who have wrote themselves off, who feel as if they don't have nothing to contribute to society. They don't have nothing to contribute to their communities. They don't have anything to contribute to their kids. They don't have anything to contribute to the mother of their children. They feel as if they are done. I'm washed up. I can't be chosen. I can't be used. I done this. I done that. I don't have anything to give. That's not true, brother. We come to empower you tonight. We come to pour into you tonight. We come to encourage you tonight. So I'm asking all my sisters on tonight with me, if you got teenage sons, if you got brothers, if you got a significant other, if you got men, if you got whoever you got that's in your life, we're going to ask that you bring them on. We're going to ask that you bring them on tonight's lesson and empower them. Bring them onto this lesson and encourage them, because we're about to go forth and encourage our men and let them know, why can't it be you? Now, let's go to Acts 11. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 11. Let's start out here. 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. We're going to look at verse 3 there tonight. You understand? 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. We're going to look at verses 1 through 3. I mean, it's like verse 3. We got a lot to do tonight, so we're not going to do a lot of breakdowns tonight. We're just going to look at verse 3 there. For those who just coming on, tonight's lesson once again is entitled, Why Can't It Be You? Now, we see a lot of times where our men love to talk about that I'm the head of the house, I'm the man, I should be in charge. Women are wicked, they don't want to listen. We blah, 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 blah. We hear a lot of that being said, right? We're going to address that right out the gate, okay? Let's go 1 Corinthians 11, D. Let's give him verse 3 there.
What I would have you know.
He said what?
But I would have you know,
right,
that the head of every man is Hamashiach.
Now notice there that Paul is starting out right there with addressing that the head of every man is Hamashiach, who the world knows to be Christ. When you hear our men talk about how women don't want to submit and how they don't want to listen, you notice that that part of them being submitted to Christ is often left out. You see, one of the issues, men, that you're having with why your woman don't want to follow your vision is because you're not following the vision. One of the reasons why your women don't want to be obedient to what you're saying is because they're looking at you and you're not being obedient to what the Most High is saying. You want them to submit to you, but you don't want to submit. And that's your problem. So before we get into it tonight, explaining to you that it can be you, we're going to show you initially in these first 3 precepts why you think it's not you by your circumstances. Why your circumstances have led you to believe that it can't be you. You can't be chosen. You don't have an anointing. You don't have a calling. That's why you have told yourself that the only way I'm going to make it is through crime. The only way I'm going to make it through the day is through alcohol and drugs. The only way I'm going to bring satisfaction to myself is by fornicating and having a bunch of women. You've told yourself that because of these 3 essential things that we're going to bring out in these first precepts. And then after that, we're going to give you an example of a man who was called to lead his nation out of poverty and stricken and oppression. And then we're going to end off tonight with encouraging you with how you need to move forward and walking in your true purpose. You understand? Watch this. Read that again. Deacon says what?
But I would have you know.
But I would have you know.
That the head of every man is Hamashiach.
So you must first submit to Hamashiach, then?
And the head of the woman is the man.
Right?
And the head of Christ is God.
Now, let me speak to the ladies right quick, because we got ladies on. One of the issues that we're fighting right now, and we have a lesson coming up to in a few months that I'm still working on, is the battle in the home. The battle in the home is causing us to lose the war outside the home, because there's no unity inside the home. Women, when you hear the word submit, you automatically take it as a negative thing. And really the main problem, reason why a lot of you see that, is because what happened to you in a previous relationship. So because you submitted or listened to the wrong man, now that the Most High sent the right one, you're basing your decisions and your choices on the failures and bad choices of the bad relationship. You understand? So now, you understand, when you hear the word submit, you're thinking somebody telling you something bad. But this is why Paul is giving the order of the house. He says, read it for him again, Dick, before I bring this out.
The head of every man is Hamashiach.
So the head of every man is Hamashiach.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And then the woman is right here, but then what?
And the head of Hamashiach is God.
But notice, even Christ is submitted to someone. And that's the Father. So that's submission all the way down the totem pole. And the children are at the bottom. Now, one of my elders from Nigeria today, posted something, and I said I was going to bring this on tonight and encourage the women. Because as we're going to talk about here, and we're going to talk about in the precept to come, you cannot expect your man to reach his full potential unless you have reached your full potential in the Most High. You got to understand your role here. And you got to stop allowing women who are ungodly, who are outside of the Most High, to influence you and to devalue who you are, who the Most High has called you to be. You understand? Let me read this to you today. It blew my mind. I told Elder, I said, I got to use this today. And only his wrong was hallelujah. So I want to encourage the women, because I know I can't get to the men unless I first go to the women. And I want to show you the women this today. Check this out. It says, once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl who got tired of her marriage and wanted to kill her spouse. One morning, she ran to her mother and said to her, "Mother, I am tired of my husband. I can no longer tolerate his nonsense. I want to kill him, but I am afraid of the authorities might hold me responsible. Can you please help me, Mother?" The mother replied, "Yes, my daughter, I can help you, but there's a little task attached." The daughter asked, "What task?" "I am willing and ready to do anything in order to get him out of my way." "Okay," said the mother. "You will be forced to make peace with him so that no one can suspect you when he is eventually dead. You have to beautify yourself in order to look young and attractive to him. You have to take good care of him and be very nice and appreciative of him. You have to be patient, loving, and less jealous. Be just and listen to him so that you will never be suspected. Be submissive to him. And so that you will never be suspected, be submissive to him. Can you do all of that?" asked the mother. "Yes, I can," she replied. "Okay," said the mother. "Take this powder and pour a bit of it in his meal once a week. It will slowly kill him." After 30 days, the lady came back to the mother and said, Mother, I have no intentions of killing my husband again. As of now, I have grown to love him. He has completely changed. He is a very sweet husband. He is a very sweet husband than I ever imagined. What can I do to stop the poison from killing him? Please help me, Mother," she pleaded in a sorrowful tone. The mother answered, "Do not worry, my daughter. What I gave you the other day was just a white stone powder. It never will kill him. In reality, you were the poison that was slowly killing your husband. And with heat, you were the poison that was slowly killing your husband with heat and dispassion. You see, when you started loving and cherishing him, you saw him change into a nice, sweet husband. Men are not wicked. rather are weak at heart. Women, if you can only show love, care, and submissive and commitment to your husband, I assure you that he will be there for you. What else can I say? You see that? Now, I want to back that up with scripture. Let's go to Sirach 26. I want to encourage the women. I want to show you this because one of the things, ladies, is that you gave everything to the wrong man. And then when the right man came, you said, I ain't giving him nothing. No, the problem was the mistake you made was not giving yourself all to a man, was giving your all to the wrong man. You understand? So now by the time God sends the most High sends the ones that's for you, you have spent out, you have said, I'm not doing another thing, I ain't cooking another thing, I don't care, I ain't submissive, I ain't listening, I ain't getting pretty, I ain't doing nothing. He's gonna have to take me as I am. You're hustling backwards. You're hustling backwards. And I'm going to prove that with scripture. Sirach 26. In your apocryphas is Ecclesiastes 26. Give them verse 1. Let's start at verse 1.
Blessed is the man that has a virtuous wife.
What?
For the number of his days shall be doubled.
You see that? You see that? Read it again, Deke. He says what?
Blessed is the man that has a virtuous wife.
Blessed is the man that have a virtuous wife.
For the number of his days shall be doubled.
So a woman with virtuosity and living, thus says the Most High, double the days of the husband. You understand? Watch this. Verse 2.
A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
So now, also that when he has the virtuous woman, now he will fulfill his purpose in peace. That's what a good woman brings to a man's life. But this is what I need you to see. Go down to verse 23.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Read that again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
So if your man is wicked, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, that is the evidence that you need to see that you're wicked. You understand? That's the thing that our ladies, now men don't want to hold themselves responsible for. If your woman, if your husband is wicked, this is evidence that you're wicked. You understand? Read it again. He says what? Sirach 26 and 13 says 23 says what?
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
But
a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
You see that? So if you want a godly man, become a godly woman. If you want a godly woman, become a godly man. You understand? Now, so I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to set a foundation tonight as we go into and encourage and empower our men, because you can't do it outside of the woman. That's not going to work. So I wanted to encourage the women that are on, because the women that are struggling with these situations at home, you need to know how you need to address these things. Our women that are single out now, you need to know how to find that right man. But now we're going to deal strictly with the men now. Let's go to Luke, the 19th chapter. Let's talk to the men tonight. Tonight's lesson is entitled, Why Can't It Be You? Now, as we go through this tonight, here in Luke, the 19th chapter, we're going to deal with this on a double-fold perspective. We're going to be talking to our pastors, our mores out here, for those who are witnessing and trying to reach the people. But we also going to be talking to the people who are looking to be found. You understand? Some of you right now have been sitting in a church, sitting in a community, sitting in a home, sitting on a job, feeling as if your best days have passed you by. You understand? You feel as if nothing is ever going to happen for you. You've been giving your all to the wrong people, and you've been giving your all to this woman. You've been giving your all to this job. You've been giving your all to this pastor. You've been giving your all to this community, some of you pastors. And you feel as if that you've just been overlooked. You've been praying. You've been fasting. You've been fine-tuning your lives. And for some reason or another, where you can't put your finger on, nothing is happening. And many of you are blaming yourselves. Many of you are saying that it got to be something wrong with me. It has to be me. I have to be the one that's fault here. And what we're seeing, ladies and to my gentlemen, to my brothers, what we're seeing is the adverse reaction to it. Fornication, drunkenness, drug addiction, depression, anxiety, crimes, strife, varices, all of these things that you're seeing men do, it's really a reflection of what's going on the inside. That's really what you're seeing. And tonight we're going to deal with this in the first precept. Then we're going to break it down deeper in the second one. Of what's really going on. Why you have said to yourself, it can't be me. I can't be chosen. I can't be God's man. I can't be I'm going to be used. I can never find a good woman. The Most High is never going to use me to reach the nations, to reach the people. You're going to see why it has to happen. And at the end of this, we're going to show you how to manifest that and make it happen. Luke the 19th chapter. Let's start there, verse 28.
And when he had thus spoken, he went before, ascending up to Jerusalem.
Read that again.
And when he had thus spoken, he went before, ascending up to Jerusalem.
So now, when you go back and you read the parable before, Yeshua was breaking down some things to the people and telling them, you know, I'm getting ready to go to Jerusalem. I'm getting ready to be crucified. And there's some things that I need you guys to understand. That you got it twisted, right? But we don't got time to break all that down. So when he gets ready to go to Jerusalem, getting ready for the Passover in the last days, before he gets crucified, he's on his way, and then he tells what, verse 29?
And it came to pass when he was come nigh to Bethphage and Bethany at the mount called the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples, saying, Go ye, enter into the village over against you, in which at your entering you shall find a colt tied, whereon yet never man sat. Loose him and bring him hither.
Right.
If any man asks you, Why do ye loose him? Thus shall ye say unto him, Because the Lord hath need of him.
Now, I need you to understand some things here about this verse, about these three verses that we just read here. Okay. One of the things here that you see here is that they have found themselves in they have found themselves in this place where Hamashiach is telling them to go into a city, bring back a coat that no man has rode on. He ain't give them no money. Okay. And when you unloose it, he says, when they say, why are you doing that? You say that the Lord had need of them. Now, I just want you to imagine that now. Okay? We reading this here, and, we all say that, we about that life and we about, serving the Most High. But when these scenarios are brought to us, where it seems, what we say outside of common sense, we oftentimes, write those things off as, nah, that can't be God. That can't be the Most High. That's just me. Because we want these things to be easy. We don't mind standing on faith somewhat. But, we'll write that thing off quick as, man, that ain't, I got to use my common sense. That's always the cop-out when things are difficult. Let me help you here on this situation. Read that verse 29 again.
And it came to pass when he was come nigh to Bethphage.
He got to Bethphage
and Bethany.
And Bethany. So they right here at a fork in the road. Now, Bethphage means house of unripe figs. Right? Bethany means house of figs, which in a sense would mean you got things over here that has not yet been come to its full potential, and then you got abundance over here. Another thing that you need to know about the city of Bethany is that Lazarus, the one he raised from the dead, Martha and Mary lived in Bethany. But over here in Bethphage, which is called house of house of unripe figs, they ain't got no dealings over there. They ain't got no connections over there. They ain't got nowhere over there in which their name hold weight. And that's the place where he was sending them. What am I saying all of this for? Men, I'm talking to my mores right now, to my pastors. I'm talking to my guys who are out here feeling you got a call to go wake up your people. You're going to have to get to the point where you're going to have to get accustomed to not dealing in familiar areas. You're going to have to get to the point where you're willing to go where nobody knows your name. You're going to have to get to the point where you're going to be able to go when you don't have the money, you don't have the influence, you don't have the resources, you don't have nobody sewing, you don't got no PayPals, no Cash Apps popping. These are the places where you're going to get the most fruit at. In the areas where they're deemed unfruitful, the trap, the hood, when it looks as if nobody wants to hear what you got to say over there. It ain't going to be where all the church is at. It ain't going to be where the bruises, everybody out in the corner fringed out. It's not going to be where everybody coming with welcome arms, where they got the venues popping and the hotels laid up and the gas for your car and the plane tickets. Nah, that's not what it's going to be. That's not what the work's going to be at, brothers. He could have easily sent him over to Bethany. He could have went by Lazarus' house, Martha's house, Mary's house, all the people who saw Lazarus get raised. Everybody there would have said, yo, I'm coming with you. Shaw sent me. They would have been throwing coats at him. Nah, I'm sending you over there where my name means nothing. And you're going to have to trust me. And the problem is that many of you been going in the familiar areas. You've been going where everybody know your name. And you thought, because you were going amongst friends and family, you thought they was going to be the one to help you. And nobody's holding you down. Nobody's sewing into you. Nobody's supporting you. And you're getting discouraged like, yo, what's the problem? The problem is you're in the wrong place. Because it don't take no faith to go amongst your family. It don't take no faith to go amongst Israelites, where everybody's calling on the same name and same feast days and same beliefs. It don't take no faith for that. The faith is when the only thing you got is a commandment from the Most High. It's instructions from Yeshua. That's how you know you're in the right place. You understand? So I'm saying this right now to all the people who are second guessing why things ain't popping off yet. You understand? Listen, when I started Better Day Ministries back in 2012, I couldn't get a pastor or anybody from my hometown to support me in anything. Every city, every state that we went to deep, who knew us? Nobody. No pastors, no people, nobody. Everywhere we went, we got favor. You understand? So I'm not just reading scriptures, I done lived it. I'm telling you what really goes down. Same thing happened last week when we was in Jacksonville. The same thing. You understand? So I know many of you are discouraged and you're feeling as if you've been working tirelessly and ain't nothing growing. You ain't seeing a manifestation of it. You just need to go outside of the familiar areas because that's where faith operates. You understand? Watch this though. There's more. Verse 32.
And when they were, and they that were sent went their way and found even as he had said unto them.
Now, let's look at it. So imagine now that whole walk, right? You walking down that road in that city where nobody know you. You know you got to be down the whole time. Like, yo, man, you're shy. Listen, I know you shy. I remember that time that he was walking on the water. I remember that. That was dope. I was there when, I couldn't believe that, he raised Lazarus from the dead. Yo, that was fire. We still talking about that. I was there at the fish fry when your shy got it popping with the 2 fish and the 5 loaves. But, man, this dude, yo, he about to get me swung on. I might get locked up going this town. They don't know your shy over there. They definitely don't know me, and they want me to go in and just start unloosing the coat. You understand? Imagine that. But yet, when they got there, what did they see? Read it again. Verse 32.
And as they that were sent went their way and found even as he had said unto them.
They found it right there. It was right there. You understand? Watch this. Verse 33.
And as they were loosing the colt, the owners thereof said unto them, Why ye loose the colt?
Now, let's stop there for a minute. The truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, that many of you are that colt. I want you to imagine, I'm not trying to call you an animal. I'm being talking symbolic here. Right? I want you to imagine this colt here. You're sitting here. We don't know the age of the colt, but we can dare say that it's of age, because it had to be of age in order for a man to be able to ride it. Imagine being in this barn and you seeing all the other colts get bought. And people are coming up to you, walking up to you. Now, walking right by you and buying the next one. Right? Just imagine it. Right? Then you got some people, because remember now, the commandment was, I need you to go get a colt that no one has rode. Not just go grab one. There's one particular colt that nobody has rode. That's the one that I want. So you can imagine the owner, right? When he got to go certain places, or he got to do a certain job, he might go and grab a colt and ride it. But he never rode you. You got people coming and renting coats. Let me use this coat for the day. I'll bring them back. But nah, you're not the one that I want. What am I saying? Many of you have been in churches. You've been on jobs. You've been with your homeboys. And you've watched everybody get picked. All your homeboys is married. On your job, everybody's getting promotions. In your church, everybody is preaching. Everybody is singing. But you sitting there, and many of you probably even more talented, even more capable, even more eligible as a bachelor. But for some reason, you ain't being picked. And you have gotten to the point that you begin to look at yourself in a negative fashion, because now you're saying, I remember saying this. I'll just use myself for example. I remember at one point in time, for some of you who don't know, I lost my daughter. My daughter, was born stillborn when I was in college, when I was 23 years old. And I remember several years after that blaming myself for what happened. And then started to see all of these guys with these children, right? And then just look and say, like, how is this cat got kids and the Most High won't let me get none? And then you know what the devil started doing? I'm going to just be real with y'all tonight. You know what the devil started doing? And this was back when I was still fornicating. The devil started sending women that was like, yeah, I want to have your son. Nah, you can't have my kid until you be my wife. Well, I ain't ready to get married, but I want to give you a son. See, the devil know what you want. And he'll make it clear for you. He will lay it out on a platter for you to choose, for you to compromise. You understand? And some of you are so eager to do a particular thing that you're on the verge of compromising, to doing something that you don't need to do. And every time I was in that situation, the Most High said, time to leave her alone. Time to move on. And I had to be by myself, brother, and not fornicate and just be dolo on Fridays and Saturday nights when what I wanted could have been given to me somewhere else. You understand? Some of you are that colt out there. Some of you are in a ministry and this pastor done came through and told you, yeah, I'll give you your own church. Some of you on a job and like, yo, listen, I'll give you that promotion, but I need you to do this and that. Cutthroat somebody or sell out somebody, do this, do that. You understand? You're that coat. Not realizing that Amashiach, the master of the universe, was saving you for such a time as this. That if soon and very soon, he was going to send the person to come and get you. So tonight I'm asking you the question, why can't it be you? Now watch this though, watch this. Read the, what we at, D? What we at, verse what?
Reread 33.
Yeah, reread 33.
And as they were loosing the colt.
So after they started unloosing the colt, after the person that the Most High does sent to get you is unloosing you and preparing you, what happened?
The owners thereof said unto them, why loose ye the colt?
Now people are going to start questioning now. Hold up now. Why are you promoting him? Hold up. Why are you choosing him? Hold up. Why does he get that? Why did he get to go? Hold on. Because the people that were taking advantage of your services, that were taking advantage of your gift, that was taking advantage of your calling, that were taking advantage of your anointing, they don't want you to go with the Most High. I keep going. They don't want you to stay with the Most High. You understand? Nah. They don't want you to go with the Most High because they want what you're bringing to the table. They want your gift. They want your anointing. They want your cash. They want your talent. And when the time comes for the Most High to bring you out of that situation, into your purpose, into your destiny, there's going to be someone come and try to question it. There's going to be someone come to try to discourage you. There's going to be someone come to try to prevent and try to block your advancement, to try to block your prosperity, to try to block your raising up. And you cannot allow anyone or anything to get in the way of what the Most High has for you. You understand? Because it's going to be right there. You're going to be asking yourself, you're going to be looking like, because sometimes it's going to be, you done got comfortable in this place. It's easy in this place. And you're going to want to stay in that place. But my question tonight for you is, why can't it be you? You understand? Why can't it be you? Why can't it be you that's chosen? Why can't it be you that the Most High is going to use to bring people in? Why can't it be you to have that virtuous woman? Why can't it be you to start that business in your community? Why can't it be you that feed the homeless? Why can't it be you that clothe the naked? Why can't it be you that impact the children of your community? Why can't it be you that turn your life around? Why can't it be you? And I'm saying you're just as worthy You're just as honorable. You're just as much as important to the Most High as anyone else. I don't care what your past has said. I don't care what your resume says. I don't care what your credit report says. I don't care what the talk of the town says. The gospel, the gossip that people have to say. I don't care, because you know who else don't care? The Most High don't care. The Most High is not going to take any of those people into consideration when he's time to advance you, to promote you, to exalt you. He's not going to address anyone but you. And the only thing that's going to matter is that you're going to say yes or no. Because all answers to God promises, according to 2 Corinthians 1:20, is yes and amen. So why can't it be you? Why can't it? Why can't you be the one that bring your family out of darkness? Why can't it be you who deliver your family out of poverty? Why can't it be you that wake up your community to who they really are? Why can't it be you that break the generational curses in your family? Why can't it be you? You understand? I know things ain't worked out. I know it's been hard. I know it's been difficult. I understand. But yesterday's failures has no bearing on the tomorrow's success unless you choose it to. You understand? So when the people question it, what did he say in verse 34? What did he say?
And they said, the Lord hath need of him.
Right? And what happened?
And they brought him to Yeshua, and they cast their garments upon the colt, and they set Yeshua thereon.
You see that? The Most High has something waiting on you to do that's going to spread the news, the good news of Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world knows to be Jesus Christ. Why can't it be you? Now, let's go to First Esdras, the 3rd chapter. For those who don't have an apocrypha, I want you to go to Google, right, and put in the number 1, Esdras, ESDRAS, chapter 3. And we're going to start in there, and then we're going to go to chapter 4. So you can go ahead and pull up another link, and we can go to that as well. All right? We're going to go to First Esdras. First Esdras, the 3rd chapter. My boy Casey is wild. He said, I feel y'all all over. Talking about with 8-pound legs like an octopus. Casey, wow, boy, you wild. All praise to the Most High. All praise. That's the spirit of the Most High that you're feeling right now. All praise. Let's go to First Esdras, the 3rd chapter. We're gonna go between 3rd chapter and the 4th chapter, and because we're gonna talk about tonight. We're talking about why can't it be used. So we're going to First Esdras tonight, 3rd chapter. We're gonna talk about the fact that some of you because you haven't been chosen, you've been struggling. You saying, why can't it be you? You're questioning if it's you. Now we're going to show you the factors that have been playing and why you haven't been chosen. Because there's always a reason. You understand? Now you're going to discover what are some of the factors that actually been keeping you from being chosen. Right? It's keeping you from walking in your purpose. Right? Let's go to First Esdras, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to start there in verse 10. Let me tell you what's going on here before we get started. This is during the time where our people are in captivity in Persia. We're under King Darius. All right. Sat around the same time. No, it's later on. after the book of Daniel. This is later on in Daniel, right? And once the Darius goes to sleep, three of his men are discussing how they can become great. If you read verses 4 through 9, they're discussing how they could eventually become great in the eyes of the king. And they say, look, we're going to put these things, we're going to write these things down of what is the strongest influence over man. And we're gonna hopefully the king will give us a dialogue. And then the one that he deems the wisest is the one that he's going to promote. And to be, to be able to sit at his table and be blessed as a result of it, right? So you'll see that in verses 4 through 9. Now let's go to verse 10 there, and it's going to show you what the three things that they came up with. And then we're going to break each one of those things down. The discussion, the whole thing is what is the strongest influence on man? You're going to see these things. And what I want you to get out of this is how these three factors are playing, or you're dealing with these three factors, will show you what's actually hindering you from making it to the next level in the Most High, right? First Ezra, the 3rd chapter, Deke, let's read verse 10. Watch this.
The first wrote, wine is the strongest.
So the first said, wine has the strongest influence on man. Verse 11.
The second wrote, the king is strongest.
So the second one said, no. It's not wine that has the strongest influence on man. It's the king has the strongest influence on man. Verse 12.
The third wrote, women are the strongest.
No, he said, no, both of y'all wrong. It's the women that has the strongest influence on man. But what else did he say?
But above all things,
truth
beareth away the victory.
You see that? So he says, listen, no. Yeah, wine has influence on men. The king has influence on man. But the women have more influence on men than them all. But he said the thing that puts under subjection all three of those things is the truth of the Most High. You see that? Now watch this. Watch this. Now, for a second time, like I said, we ain't going to break all this down. Let's go and see what the first one said here in verse 17. Watch this.
And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first who had spoken of the strength of wine.
Right.
And he said, thus, O ye men, how exceedingly strong is wine, it causeth all men to err that drink it.
Now, ain't that the truth? That's a true statement there. How many people's lives have been destroyed because of alcohol? You understand? You got some people right now in prison strictly by the actions that they did when they were drunk. You got men who have lost their wives because of what they did one night out drinking with their homeboys. You got men who have lost their families because they had a rough day. They came home, they started drinking and started taking these things out on their family. You got some people who never really was drinking, and then now they took on a little drinking here, and they went from every now and then to twice a week, to 4 times a week, to every day, to all day. So this is a true statement. That alcohol, wine, these things have a strong influence over men. So men, some of you right now may be in a place of stagnation. Some of you may be in a place of hindrance, of obstacles against you, because you are not able to control yourself when it comes to alcohol and wine. Watch this. Verse, where we at, D? 19? Mm-hmm.
It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one.
You see that? He said, now, when you on that drink, the poor man that ain't got nothing, he think he's unstoppable. And now even the king, he loses all understanding of who he is. So the poor man, the pitiful man, because he's drunk, he goes to the level like, I'm the king, I'm running this out here. You know those guys that get super tough when they get drunk? You understand? So the drunk man, no matter how much money he has, or how much stature he has in the community, is always going to be off who he really is when he's drinking. Watch this, go ahead.
Of the bondman and of the free man, of the poor man and of the rich.
It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. A person who is intoxicated and drunk, their money is no more a factor. their poverty, whatever. I'm going to do whatever I want to say, do and say whatever I want to say. Watch this. Verse 20.
It turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth,
Right.
so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor death.
See, that's why some of you are drinking as much as you're drinking. Because you're trying to cloud out the pain that you have. You're trying to cloud out the depression that you're going through. You're trying to cloud out the bad choices in your life, the circumstances that you're dealing with. As long as you're down on that liquor and down on that wine, smoking that weed, you're not thinking about anything else. Everything's good. But it only lasts for a certain amount of time. Right? Watch this.
It maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor.
Now, I'm not even caring about authority. Nobody can control me right now. This is my world. This is me. What else?
And it maketh to speak all things by talent.
You see that? Whatever. I go to a woman and smack on the butt in public. I holler at the finest woman. It don't make a difference. I say whatever I want to say because I'm going off that drink. This is truth. This liquor, this drugs, this making it modern day time. All these things have a very strong influence over men. You're asking the question, why can't it be you? For many of you, this is the reason why. Watch this. Verse 23.
22, yeah. And when they are in their cups, they forget their love both to friend and brethren.
You see that? When they own this drugs, when they own this liquor, they no longer remember the importance of the people that are in their lives. Their loved ones, their children, their wives, their sisters, their friends, their co-workers. All of these things become insignificant to them. You want to know what some of the problems that you're having in your family? It's because you're drunk all the time. It's affecting your job. It's affecting your business. And I don't want to profane the Sabbath, but it's really for many of you, some of you men, it's affecting your love life. You understand? I don't want to profane the Sabbath there, but you know what I'm talking about. You over there passed out, coming in sloppy all the time, done. That is not attractive to your wife. You understand? Watch this. What else?
And a little after, draw out their soul.
And now I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight my wife now. I'm swinging on my kids. I'm throwing hands with my brother. I'm disrespecting my pops now. My best friend, I've been friends for 20 years now. Because I'm going off this wine now. I'm going off these drugs. I'm ready to fight anybody. Person that if I wasn't drunk, I would have never did these things. But I'm doing it now. Watch this. Verse 24. 23.
But when they are from the wine,
But when that's done wore off now,
they remember not what they have done.
nah, man, I did what? I said what? You understand? We asking the question like, why can't it be you? And for many men, this is one of the reasons. You got a good heart, you're talented, you're anointed, but you have a difficult manner. You have a terrible way of how you're dealing with your problems. You understand? Watch this. Verse 24.
O ye men, is wine not the strongest that enforceth to do thus?
Uh-huh.
And when he had so spoken, he held his peace.
So now he said, listen, you can't tell me. This is it. Wine has the strongest influence on me. Like I said, for many of you, this is the answer. This is the answer to why can't it be you. Now, remember the second one said, no, it's the king that has the strongest influence. Let's go into what the king, to the next one said. Let's go down to chapter 4, and let's start at verse 1.
Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say,
Right?
O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear the rule over sea and land and all things in them?
Mm-hmm.
But yet the king is more more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things, and has dominion over them, and whatsoever he commandeth them they do.
Right?
If he bid them to make war, the one against the other, they do it. If he send them out against the enemies, they go, and break down mountains, walls, and towers. They slay and are slain, and transgress not the king's commandment.
Right?
If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well as spoil as all things else. Likewise, for those that are no soldiers, and have not to do with wars, and use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they have sown, they bring to the king, and compel one another to pay tribute unto the
You
king.
see that? So he said, listen, nah, man. It ain't that wine, bro. It's the king. It's the leaders. And you put it in our modern time, it's the leaders. It will be the mores, the pastors, the political leaders, the presidents. They got more power because they are the ones that we got to pay taxes to. They are the ones that send our people off to fight. Whatever the laws that they pass in the lands, whatever the laws they pass as far as the church is concerned, the community leaders, these are the people that are controlled. But ultimately the king. Right? Now, what does that got to do with us? Well, for some of you, you are submitted and you hold the world laws, these country laws, more important to you than the Most High's laws. And for many of you, you're not reaching your full potential because you don't want to rock the boat of society. Let's get in Proverbs 3:31. Right? Let's give them that. For all these proud Americans that we got. Because some of you guys are proud Americans, you're proud Christians, you're proud Baptists, you're proud Amazons, you're proud Kojics. You understand you're proud Holiness and Seventh-day Adventists, you're proud Jehovah's Witnesses, you're proud fraternity members, you're proud Masons. All of these things that were brought to us by the Gentiles. You have more loyalty to these systems and these organizations than you have to your own self. And anything that goes against those things, you put those things more than the Most High's law. Watch this, Proverbs 3:31.
Envy thou not the oppressor,
Envy thou oppressor.
and choose none of his ways.
Now you can choose some of it, man.
Choose none of his ways.
Now go ahead and register so you can be a proud Democrat.
Choose none of his ways.
Oh, no, you got to make sure you participate in all the holidays.
Choose none of his ways.
Choose none of his ways. Every other day, we're finding somebody get shot in the street, somebody getting arrested for no reason, somebody getting found without brains and hearts and kidneys and all these things in them. But yet, for one reason or another, what's the day? June the what?
14.
June the 14th? You give it about what? Was it June 14, 16? You give it 20 days from now, you're going to have our people out there raising the flag like this. Flag, waving the flag. You're going to have the American flag shirts. You're going to see the posts on Facebook. You're going to see all this. 4th of July, you're going to have the little things or the icons on their posts, on their pictures and stuff.
Oh, changing your profile.
Profile pics, all of that. Days later, when they shoot down another one of our people, man, I can't believe it. I'm tired of this. Which one is it, brother? When November come around, you're going to see them out here. You're going to see them with their little stickers on their shirt right here. Yeah, I voted. Did you? Nah, I didn't. So didn't. Shabbat shalom, Ak. Good seeing you on Winners Night. You understand? So he said, no. You got it twisted. The king has more control over men. Right? So let's go down to verse 13. Let's see what the other man had to say.
Then the third, who had spoken of women and of truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak.
Right? We in first Esdras, 4th chapter. Go ahead.
O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth, Who is it then that ruleth them, who or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women?
He said, are they not women? Watch this, how he breaks it down.
Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land.
He said, listen, the king was born from a woman. All the men that ruled the seas and the land, a woman bore them. Watch this.
Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyard, and from whence the wine cometh.
The one who grow the wine, the one who plant the seeds in the wine fields, all the plants that they pay tributes to the king, a woman birthed them too. Watch this.
These also make garments for men, they bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be.
You see that? He said all the great clothes that the men wear, women make those. Every man that has been born was born by a woman. Watch this. He's gonna break it down even deeper. Verse 18. Verse 18.
Yea, if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty?
You see that? He said, listen, men will go out and get all the fancy cars, and they'll build them a nice house, and they'll get them the jewelry, and they'll spend $1,000 on their clothes and their shoes. But when a woman walk up, they looking at themselves at first. But when that beautiful woman walk up, they're like this. So he's saying, listen, they doing all of this to get that woman. Where we at, deep verse 19?
And letting all those things go,
Uh-huh.
do they not gape? And even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her, and are not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever?
You see that? He says, listen, everything that they're doing, every possession that they're working hard to get, they're getting to get her. And they're going to go get the house. They're going to go buy another house. They're going to go buy another car. They're going to get more shoes. They're going to get more clothes. But when that woman comes up, they're standing there with their mouths open like this. You understand? He said the woman got to have more power over the man. So what we talking about tonight? Why can't it be you? For many of you, it's because your obsession with women is controlling everything you do. You're chasing money because of women. You're chasing power because of women. You're going in debt because of women. You're blowing all these money because of women. You're doing everything that you're doing 24 hours a day is connected to pleasing women. Do you understand? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 20.
A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife.
A man said, listen, bro, here Dappins pops up. Hey, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Much love. He won't even go back to his hometown. I'm outie. You understand? Watch this now. I know this is resonating with some of you because many of you men have made these decisions because of women. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 25, 22, 21.
He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembered neither father, nor mother, nor country.
Hey, man, I love my moms. Bruh, I love my wife. I love my husband, my pops. I got mad love for my neighborhood and my hood, bruh. Hey, but I'm outie. You understand? Bro, we don't never see you no more. You know, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, hey. So he's saying he's breaking down the influence that a woman has over a man. Watch this. Watch this. Verse, what we at? Verse 23? 22?
By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman?
Every one of you, you're working hard and you bring that money home to your wife. Is it not what's going down? Everything you accomplish, you bring it to your woman. Everything you work for, you bring it to your woman. Every level of success, you bring it to your woman. And for some of you that's out here trying to be these grand standards and have all these women, it's got you pulled all over the place. You understand? Watch this. Verse 23.
Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and steal, to sell upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness. And when he has stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love.
You see that? Some of you right now are selling dope in the hood to bring it home to a woman. Some of you robbing, kickboard, dope kickers because of women. Stick up boys because of women. Remember, we're talking about tonight. Why can't it be you? We're showing you here in Esdras what is some of the things that are keeping you from reaching your full potential. Do you understand? This is what's going on. This is what's holding you back. This is the line that's in the sand for many of you. This is what's keeping you from your purpose and your destiny. Watch this. Verse 24, 25.
Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than his father or mother.
Got mad love for his moms, mad love for his father, but it can't compare how much he loved his wife. Verse 26.
Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sake. Many also have perished and erred and sinned for women.
You got men that lost everything over a woman. You got men that was running their jobs, there was managers, there was businesses, there was managers, there was supervisors at their job. A fine woman got hired, they got fired over a woman just to have sex with her. You done had men sin, commit adultery. You got pastors losing their churches. You got people losing their children over the fineness of a woman. You got men right now in debt for a woman that don't even got his last name. So this third man is breaking it down. He's like, listen, women have got to have the strongest influence over men. Now, for the sake of time, we're not going to keep reading, but even he goes into the king, when he goes into 29 and 31, he goes into the king and say, listen, I was sitting back the other day and I seen one of the concubines, not his wife. He said, I seen one of the concubines come up to the king, take the king's crown off his head, put it on her head, and slap the king in his face. And the king laughed. You understand? If that was a man that would have done that, he would have been javeling up. But that girl was so fine, king just sat back and laughed. But she got his crown on her head and slapped him in his face. You understand? So you're saying, what does it have to do? This is some of your problems. Wine, who you're submitted to, and women. Some of you got all three of these issues. Hold up. Some of you got all three of these issues. You understand? Some of you are really struggling. But we're about to show you how to be able to control all of these things so you can fully grasp how to lead your life successfully. Let's go down to verse 32. Watch this.
O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus?
He said, you got to agree with me. You have to agree with me that women have the strongest influence over those other things. But look at what he says here. Verse 33.
Then the king and the princes looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth.
He said, listen, now you got them thinking. But now let me break this thing down deeper. Now he's talking about the truth of the Most High. Watch this. Verse 34.
O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetches his course again to his own place in one day.
He said, listen, man, look at the earth. Look at the sun, the stars. Look at all the greatness of this world here, right? Watch this. Watch this. But he says, watch what he says. Verse 35.
Is he not great that maketh these things?
But he says, but is it the one who make it, the Most High, not greater than all of that? Watch this. Look at what he's saying here. Go ahead.
Therefore, great is the truth.
He said, what?
Therefore, great is the truth.
He says, what?
Therefore, great is the truth, and stronger than all these things.
He says, therefore, greater than the wine, than the king and the woman, is the truth of the Most High. Because if you got the truth of the Most High, you can control the wine. You know who to be submitted to, who to follow, and you know what woman you're supposed to bring into your life. Y'all see that? And this is the problem for so many of our men, because they don't know the truth. You still thinking that you're black. You still thinking that you're African American. You still calling yourself a Christian and a Baptist. You still calling yourself a Kojic and an Zion and a Democrat and a Republican. These are all lies. These are bywords. Watch this. Watch this. Look at what he's breaking down here. What we at, D? Verse 36?
36.
Verse 36?
All the earth called upon the truth.
He says what?
All the earth calleth upon the truth.
Right?
And the heavens blesseth it.
Mm-hmm.
All works shake and tremble at it, and with it no unrighteous thing.
He said there is no unrighteous thing when dealing with the Most High truth. Watch this. Verse 37.
Wine is wicked.
Wine is wicked.
The king is wicked.
The king is wicked.
Women are wicked.
Women are wicked.
All the children of men are wicked.
All the men are wicked.
And such are all their wicked works. There is no truth in
And
them.
there's no truth in none of them.
In their unrighteousness also they shall perish.
And in their unrighteous, all of these things that you're holding above the truth will perish. But watch this. Verse 38.
For as the truth.
But as for what?
For as the truth.
As for what?
As for the truth. It endured.
It endured.
And is always strong.
It is always strong.
It liveth and conquereth forevermore.
You see that? That's the issue. What are we holding on to? What has the most control of our lives? Is it the wine? Is it the king? Is it the woman? Or is it the truth? You understand? Watch this. Verse 39.
With her there is no accepting of persons or reward.
No selling out. I'm not compromising.
But she doeth the things that are just.
Just.
And refraineth from all unjust and wicked things.
Right.
And all men do well like of her works.
You see that? Verse 40.
Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages.
How long?
Of all ages.
For who?
Of all ages.
Right.
Blessed be the God of truth.
Blessed be who?
Blessed be the God of truth.
You see that? You see that? Now let's precept this and give that full understanding of this. Let's go to Psalms 119, verse 4 and 42. And I'm going to build upon that truth because we're seeing here that the truth is what's going to control them all. It's going to control it all. Right? That's the truth that we need. Psalms 119, verse 142. Bring it out.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
Read that again.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
So the Most High righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. It don't play out. It's not outdated. It's not what's in now, but it ain't divided now. Everything with the Most High is what he said yesterday, what he says today, and what it will be forever will always be the righteous way to live. What else?
And the law.
And thou what?
And the law.
And thou what?
And the law.
And thou what?
And the law is the truth.
Is the truth. That same truth that Ezra was talking about. He says thy law is what?
And thy law is the truth.
And thy law is the truth. Let's go to John 8. Watch this. Watch this. This is the most influence over the wine, over the king, over the women. If you got the truth, you got it all. John 8, verse 31 and 32.
Then said Yeshua to those Jews which believed on him.
Who did he talk to? Who?
To those Jews which believed on him.
And what did he say to them?
If you continue in my word.
Nah, you just get a little bit.
If you continue in my word.
Nah, just read it on the Sabbath.
If you continue in my word,
If you continue in my word,
then are you my disciples indeed.
then, and only then, are you my disciples indeed. And what's going to happen as a result of that?
You shall know the truth.
Then you shall know what?
You shall know the truth.
You shall know what?
You shall know the truth.
You shall know the truth.
And the truth shall make you free.
That same truth, that same law shall make you free. You're saying, why can't it be me? I'm showing you how. Watch this. John 14:6. Watch this. John 14:6. Read it. Bring it out.
Yeshua said unto him, I am the way.
He said, I'm what?
I am the way.
I am the way.
The truth.
The who?
The truth.
The who?
The truth.
Uh-huh.
And the life.
Uh-huh.
No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
You see that? That same truth that was greater than everything. You see that? Watch this. Let's go to John 16. John 16. John 16, and let's start at verse 12.
I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now.
Listen, man. There's so many things that a Mashiach is ready to bring out into your life. There's so many things that he wants to do for you. There's so much work he has laid upon your hand. There's so many questions that you have that he's ready to answer for you. But in your current state right now, you're not ready to receive it. There's some things that you're going to have to do internally. You understand? See, you're so focused on your outside changing. So you're caught up in those storms that you're experiencing. So you're praying that the storm change when the Most High is praying that the storm change you. You're so focused on the problems and you're not catching the lesson he wants you to learn that will remove the problems. You understand? So there's so many things that he wants to reveal to you. There's so many things so many places he wants to take you. There's so many things that he wants to bring into your life, but he can't do it right now because you're in a place where you can't handle it. I'm not going to give an alcoholic a bunch of money for you to drink it up. I'm not going to give a person who is submitted and hanging with all the wrong people for you to blow it and own everything else but my purpose for your life. I'm not going to give this money and this influence and this position in business to a man that can be drawn away for every beautiful woman that walks down the road. You understand? It's so many. Read it again. He says what? John 16:12.
I have yet many things to say unto you,
right?
But you cannot bear them now.
You can't bear them yet, man. You're not ready. Got so much I want to do. But I know you ain't ready to hear it yet. Watch this. Verse 13.
Albeit when the Spirit of truth is
when the
come,
what?
When the Spirit of truth is come, he will guide you into all truth.
You see that? When you finally get baptized in that Holy Spirit, you finally receive that Spirit into your life, he's going to do what?
He will guide you into all truth.
Then he will guide you into all truth. You out here trying to do this thing through religion. You out here trying to do this thing to the same prayers over and over. You trying to do this out of memorizing Bible scriptures. You trying to go to this conference and that conference. They got you sowing seeds and all these things. That ain't the answer. It's the Holy Spirit. You understand? Watch this. Watch this. And he's going to do what else?
He will guide you into all truth.
Right.
And he shall not speak of himself.
He's not going to speak of himself.
But whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak. And he will show you things to come.
That's what's going to happen. You're trying to see what's going on tomorrow without the Spirit. The Spirit is the only one that can see down the road. You're so caught up right now in the clouds, not realizing that the sun, that the S-O-N, is still shining behind the clouds. But the only one that can reveal to you what's behind the clouds is the Spirit. You can't sow your way into that. You can't go to conferences and get that. That's one-on-one. You understand? Watch this. Verse 14.
He shall glorify me.
He gonna glorify who?
He shall glorify me.
That's another problem. Because many of you right now are doing everything to bring glory to yourself. And the Holy Spirit is not going to lead you to bring glory to yourself. He's going to lead you to bring glory to a Hamashiach. And so you're trying to do things that's going to get you likes, that's going to get you shared, that's going to get you remembered, that's going to get your name remembered, and that's the problem. The Holy Spirit ain't coming to do that. The Holy Spirit is coming to glorify Hamashiach. So until you put your agenda down, until you put your ways down, your feelings to the side, you're going to be staying in the same place. You understand? What else?
For he shall receive of mine and shall show it unto you.
He going to do what?
For he shall receive of mine.
He going to receive of what Christ got.
And shall show it unto you.
And then he will show it to you. Because right now, what I want to show you, you can't see. So you got to spend that time with the Spirit. And the Spirit is what's going to show you those things that already are mine. Watch this. Verse 15.
All things that the Father hath are mine.
Everything that belongs to the Most High belongs to a Mashiach. Watch this.
Therefore said I that he will take of mine.
Then the Holy Spirit going to take from Hamashiach
and show it unto you.
And show it to you. You're trying to get things from the Most High, but you're bypassing Hamashiach. You're trying to bypass the Holy Spirit. No, John 14:6 says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Therefore, you must go the way that Hamashiach has walked. You must live by the truth, which is the law, according to Psalm 119 and 142. And you must live the same sacrificial life that Hamashiach lived to get to the Father. You understand, men? You're saying, why can't it be you? This is what you got to do. You understand? Now, let's go to Sirach 2. Let's go to Sirach 2. All right. Let's go to Sirach 2. These last two precepts for tonight. We're going to spend these last two precepts in showing you how it is that you can come out of this place that you're in. Many of you have a strong desire to be used by the Most High. You're ready. You have a good heart. People can look at your life and they can look at your choices. They can look at your failures and your shortcomings, and it may not paint the picture of what you really feel inside, what you really desire in here. And the only thing about it is you're unprepared. Many of our Christian brothers and sisters, you're unprepared for this true life. As we say it all the time, many of our Christian brothers and sisters are struggling with their faith because you've been taught to serve your church. You've been taught to serve your pastor, but you've never been taught to serve the Most High. Many of our brothers and sisters, even those who are in the truth, you never had no time in the church. So you're having a hard time because you don't know how to submit to leaders. You don't know how to be doing things in decent and in order. You want to be a lone ranger. You want to be your own person out here on your own, doing your own thing. And so you're running into the same problems. That's not the way our nation is supposed to be built. I don't have a problem with the signal tonight. Too much truth. All right. So as I was saying, you got to come out. It's a lot of lessons that we're going to have to learn. We're going to show you this right here. We're going to go into this tonight. Now, for those who don't have an apocrypha, I want you to go into, you can go to Google for a separate tablet a phone or laptop, and you can go to Google and put in SIRACH chapter 2. We're going to go through this whole entire chapter. We're going to end up in Hebrews, the 12th chapter tonight. Okay? Sirach, the 2nd chapter. Let's go there. Let's start there at verse 1.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord.
We said what?
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord.
If you do what?
Come to serve the Lord.
If you come to serve your church.
Come to serve the Lord.
Right?
Prepare thy soul for temptation.
Now, you got to understand. You got to understand. And some of our Christian brothers and sisters get offended when we make this statement, but this is a fact. Now, this does not relate to every Christian. We're talking about Christianity as a whole. We talked about it on the previous lesson when we gave the definition of a Christian. And as part of that definition of a Christian, it did not require believing the Bible. Did it not? That was not a requirement. A Christian was just you followed the religion of Christianity. The religion of Christianity did not come from the Bible. So the reason why many of our Christian brothers and sisters feel attacked when those in the truth are saying to them, listen, you're not serving the Most High, it's because, contrary to your belief, you was never taught to serve the Most High. You understand? Even with our brothers and sisters that are in the truth, when they come into the understanding that they're not black, that they're not African Americans, and they're not Mexicans, they're not Puerto Ricans, Latinos, Native Americans, Africans, Colombians, Argentinians, Hawaiians, all of these different things, when they come into the understanding of that, even them themselves, because most of, like I said, never really was involved in a congregation or up on a spiritual leadership, they don't know how to serve the Most High. They like to just wallow in historical facts. They like to break down etymology and words. They like to break down history and stuff like that. But that still has nothing to do with the Most High. I'm always worried, and I know people are not doing this, reluctantly or maliciously. But when I want to talk to people about the Most High, I don't want to talk about no maps. You can get that to somebody who don't believe. Don't bring me no maps. Maps play no part in me receiving the truth. You understand? Don't bring me no breakdown of etymology. I understand that these words and stuff mean something. I'm all with that. That's why we say Ahaya. Okay. That's why we say Yeshua. That's why you don't see me calling other names, but I still can fellowship with others who do. We understand words mean things and all of those factors of the English language, but we also understand that Isaiah 28 says that with stammering lips and another tongue shall he reach his people. You understand? And then he says in Zephaniah the 3rd chapter, verse 9, that in the end he's going to give us all what? A pure language. So I understand all of that. You understand? But what I'm trying to say is this. You knowing history of locations of where we, migrated to, and you can show the maps that how they changed the maps and how they lied on this land, and you can break down the slave trade, and you can go off. That ain't gonna matter when it comes to living this walk with the Most High. You can't base your faith off that. That's just historical truth, facts in a sense. Read that from again, Sirach 2:1.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord.
But when it's time to serve the Most High,
prepare thy soul for temptation.
You see that? Acts 17:30 says that at the time the Most High winked at our ignorance. But now he's calling all man to repent. And when it's time to serve him, you can't come to him talking about what you see with Esau. He don't want to care about what no Esau doing. He don't want to hear about the vaccines. He don't want to hear about the Club of Rome. He ain't want to hear nothing about no Masons. He's talking about what you're doing, brother. You understand? So when you come to serve the Most High, you got to start preparing your soul for the temptations, not so much so of going back into, the sins of your past. That's going to be part of it, yes. But it's more so about the traditions, your old way of thinking, your old way of carrying things out, how your perspectives and perceptions, who you hung around with. Holy days of the Most High, versus the pagan holidays of Satan. You can say what you want to. You can post on social media all day about these things being pagan, but you're not going to lie to me. You can lie to yourself. You can lie to me, but you don't got to lie to yourself. When these days come around, and when your family is going off somewhere else and you're there by yourself, don't say to me, you don't got to lie. It affects you. And if you're not in the area, you understand, you're not in the area where you can gather with the people for the Passover and gather with the people for first fruits and gather with the people for tabernacle and dedication and Purim and all these things, it's going to be tough. You understand? Read that poem one more time. Dickie says what?
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord.
So with me, and I'm talking to you specifically tonight, when it's time to serve the Lord, it's time to make that decision. Now I'm walking with the Most High. I'm walking with a Mashiach. You got to do what?
Prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare thy soul for temptation, verse 2.
Set thy heart aright.
Right.
And constantly endure.
He says constantly endure, which means that it's not going to be a one-time battle. There's not going to be a one-time situation. There's not going to be a one-time circumstance that you got to overcome. This is going to be a continuous battle always. We got a lesson that we did. We put up in the box up here, in the first part of the box, called Overcoming Thyself. Man's never-ending war. I suggest all my men that's watching with us tonight and shall watch this in the days to come to check that lesson out. For my people that's on YouTube, inbox me and I will get you that lesson. You understand? Verse 3.
Cleave unto him.
Cleave unto the Most High.
And depart not away.
Don't part not away, because I'm telling you right now, listen, you traveling on the highway of the Most High, Satan got exits on every time, every so often, he got an exit for you. I'm telling you, it's a woman at an exit, it's Saturnella, aka Christmas, at an exit, it's a holiday, it's another holiday at the exit, listen, it's the club, it's a formal relationship, it's your job, everything's at an exit. There's an exit always there for you to go down and get off that highway to the Most High. You understand? He says what? Cleave unto the Most High, what?
And depart not away.
Depart not away.
That thou mayest be increased at thy Laodicean.
And see, that's what happens. Some of you right now are so caught up in the middle part of your story that you're going to prevent that spectacular ending from coming to pass. We're going to go to Hebrews 12 as we finish off the here tonight. But we're not going to read that verse, so I'm going to record it for you tonight. It says, Hebrews 12 and 2 says, looking unto Yeshua, the author and the finisher of our faith. You go to Psalms 139, verse 16, it says that the Most High had fashioned our days in the book of life before we was ever born. The story of your life is written. The only thing that's going to come out of it is what you're going to do with what's presented to you. You're in control of how it's ended. You understand? So you can't go away. You got to stay with him all the way to the end, because what you will see is that's always going to get brighter. That's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can't get caught up in the tunnel vision that you have when you can't see nothing else around you. You got to keep going yourself through it. You understand? Watch this. Verse 3, verse 4.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take it cheerfully.
Whatever happens, whatever situation that comes upon you, you got to take cheerfully. What?
And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
You must understand, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to the ladies that's on here as well. There's going to be times in your life, especially when you're in that initial stage of the truth, when the Most High is breaking all of those connections to the world and to Satan and to the beast system away from your life. You're going to have to be brought down to a lower state. That's just a fact of the matter. And you're going to be like, how in the world can I be in the truth? How in the world can I be with the Most High, you say, and I'm losing everything? Well, that's just some evidence that we were never connected to the Most High. And, hey, he's releasing those things from you to bring you to something better. You understand? Watch this. Verse 5.
For gold is tried in the fire.
For what?
For gold is tried in the fire.
Many times people are in the wilderness and in the wooded areas and the rocky areas of the mountains and stuff like that, and they walk past gold all the time. They see gold and they don't even recognize it because how gold is in its natural state. You have to take gold and put it in those purifying fires that's come to a very, very, very high temperature to burn all that impurities off of that gold in order for it to get that shiny look. And so for some of you men on here tonight, some of you that have watched this lesson in the days to come, you are pure gold in the eyes of the Most High. It's lucky. But you can't see it. You see the failures. You see the bad credit. You see yourself in the manner that people describe you when they talk about you. You even got a negative connotations of your own self, perception of your own self. It's not until you go through this fire and the Most High burn all that stuff off of you that what's going to happen?
For gold is trying to fire
Right.
and acceptable men.
Who?
Acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
That's how you become acceptable to the Most High. When you go through that fire and you come out shining like gold. Let's precept that, D. Let's go to 2 Timothy 1. The Spirit telling me to go to there. Let's go to 2 Timothy 1. Watch this. Y'all hold your place right there in Google, Sirach. Coming right back, but I want to show you something because this is one of the things that are keeping a lot of our, especially our Christian brothers and sisters. This is one of the things that's keeping our Christian brothers and sisters in the Christian church, because you don't want to deal with the scrutiny of walking in the truth. This got a lot of our people right now that we talk about all the time. We have these Nicodemus experiences where people will come to Israelites who are out publicly and they say, yeah, man, we are the children of Israel. And then you'll see them on social media still in the Christian church. Now, I stayed in the Christian church for 2 years after I came into the truth, so I'm not talking about that, the fact that you're there. But it's the fact that you see them years later. They ain't making no efforts. They ain't coming to the Sabbath. They ain't starting to break off from the holy days. I was serving in the Christian church. That's why I stayed there. I was serving my pastor. Some people just there, just continuing going on, still doing everything else, but they only want to be Israelites when they talking to you one-on-one in a corner. Right? You got people that don't even go to church and saying, yeah, man, well, I think we as God's chosen people. But they don't want to be out public with it. And I'm going to show you why. 2 Timothy 1, let's look at verse 7 and 9.
For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind.
Read that for me again, Dick.
For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Mm-hmm. So you got to understand that everything you need to do the work of the Most High, you've been given that. You've been given power. You've been given the love that keep you to endure in the midst of all the hate that you're going to receive. And He has given you the spirit that's going to keep you in a sound mind. Watch this though. Verse 8.
Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord,
Right.
nor of me, his prisoner,
Right.
but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of God.
You got some people right now that are so concerned that what's going to happen to them as a result of standing for this truth. They're like, man, I'm straight. I remember when I first started teaching this truth back in 2017. We got woke up in 2014. I left my church in 2016. I still kept traveling, still kept preaching, but the Most High never released us to preach this truth until 2017. The first, after about putting 2 or 3 videos up on YouTube, I got this, you start getting these comments from this post, from this page that had like a monkey as its icon. And when I started reading the comments, they were all quote unquote racially motivated, inspired comments, saying all kind of negative things to me. And I knew what it was because of the elders that I had learned from. I knew what it was. I didn't have to even think about it. I knew that Satan was sending these people, most of them probably agents, government agents, to see if I was going to, say something against the Jewish people or talk about so-called white people or do something crazy. Right? Shabbat shalom, Mimi. Good seeing you on this night. And just saying all these negative things. And so I told the person that I was involved with at the time, my girl, and she was like, yo, I think you need to stop preaching this. It's only going to get worse. I'm like, man, what? Well, you ain't never had these problems before? You're right. I was teaching lies. Satan was happy with that. Satan was happy with me teaching lies. He had no problem with that. But as soon as I started preaching the truth, this is when the hate came. This is when the attacks came. They wanted to see what I would do and what I would say. No, I'm not doing that. So that was one of the rips between us because I kicked with the truth. And she was saying it because she was concerned for me. But I'm not going to turn down. If my Yeshua was willing to put his life on, my Savior, my Mashiach was willing to put his life on the line. If the 12 disciples and apostles and all the prophets was willing to put their life on the line, if my ancestors don't put their life on the line, what means I can't? I got to turn down? No way, no how. So I'm telling my brothers and sisters with this, you cannot be afraid to take on the ridicule and the persecution that's going to come. Now let's give him Matthew 10 to encourage them in that. Let's give him Matthew 5, Slakia, 10 through 12 to encourage them with that. Now we're still talking about why can't it be you? We're still encouraging you now to see, now that you understand when we, on the last precepts or some of the things that are holding you back, this is your encouragement. This is your inspiration to go forth in these things. Matthew 5, verse 10 through 12. Watch this.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely.
They say what?
Evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
Oh no, man, be sad, man.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
Nah, take your fringes and burn them on fire.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
Nah, man, throw the apocrypha in the trash can.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad. For great is your reward in heaven.
Why?
For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
You see that? So Amashiach said, listen, you blessed, bro. You rejoice when you're getting persecuted and ridiculed and attacked for Christ's sake. You go with it. You stand with it. Not for your sake, but for Christ's sake. Now let's go back to Sirach. I wanted to encourage you with that. Now let's go to verse. Let's go down to verse. Go to verse 6.
Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him.
Trust in the Most High.
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall.
You can't go aside. You can't turn down. You got to stay with it. You got to stay with it. Go ahead.
Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy.
Right.
Look at the generations of old and see. Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Did any ever abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that call upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion.
He is what?
For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in a time of affliction.
He's gonna got you. He got you. He got you. You just got to stay with him. You got to trust him. Verse 12.
Woe be to filthful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways.
Listen, you better make your mind up. If you ain't ready to serve the Most High, stay in the world. That's why he says, Hamashiach says in Revelation 3 and 15, I know thy works. I know that thou art hot or cold. He said, I wish that you're not hot or cold. I wish you was one or the other. And because you lukewarm, I'm going to spew you out of my mouth. The most thing that the Most High hates is somebody who lukewarm, with me sometimes and with him not sometimes. You understand? He wants you all the way in or all the way out. He can deal with you all the way out. He wants you all the way in. But this, I'm with you today, and when it's convenient, and when the money's flowing, and when the sun is shining. But then turn down when the money's gone. Turn down when persecution comes. Turn down when you're broke. Listen, he ready. Listen, I'm the ones that get cast to the side. Right? Verse 13.
Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not.
That's why you're having a trial of standing, because you don't believe the Most High. People ain't fornicating because they're wicked. You're fornicating because you don't believe that it's against the law to fornicate. That's what the problem is. Because in the Christian church, you was pulling that grace card out on everything. If you believe the Most High, You will stand with the Most High. You understand? Go ahead.
Therefore shall he not be defended.
You will not be defended by the Most High when you don't stand with him. When you don't hold your ground. As my man Stick says, 10 toes down. Verse 14.
Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you?
What's going to happen when the Most High comes and ready to actually bring deliverance to your situation? What you going to do? Because you done lost patience. Watch this. Verse 15.
They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
Read that again.
They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
They're going to do what?
They that love him will keep his ways.
They will keep his ways because they love him. Watch this. Verse 16.
They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law.
They're going to be filled with what?
Shall be filled with the law.
They're going to be filled with what?
Filled with the law.
Filled with the law. They won't be out there breaking the law. They ain't going to be out there making excuses to break the law. They ain't going to be coming up with precepts to try to convince people that you don't got to follow the law. You understand? What else?
They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight.
That's what they're going to do. Whatever they need to do, fast, pray, whatever it takes to be used by the Most High. Verse 18.
Saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men.
I don't care what men try to do to me. I'm going to fear the Most High. You understand? Let's give them a precept right quick. That precept for that. Just in case my Christian brothers and sisters come across this. Let's give them Proverbs 28:7. And I want to make sure that we cover that. The Most High I passed it, but the Most High brought that back to me. Because I know my Christian brothers and sisters sometimes, they'll come on mid lesson, you know, and see something, and then they'll get offended. And they'll be like, hey, that ain't what it says. That ain't what it says. Let's go straight to it. Matter of fact, let's give them Proverbs 28 and verse 9. Is what I want.
He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination.
Read that again.
He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law,
He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law,
even his prayer shall be abomination.
your prayers become an abomination. Many of you ask yourself, why ain't my prayers being answered? Why ain't I ain't been healed? Why are my family members not being healed? Why am I ain't got the funds and the resources for my business? Why am my church failing? Read it again.
He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law,
He that turned away his ear from hearing the law,
even his prayer shall be abomination.
your prayers are an abomination. Okay? I wanted to put that out there. Because you're saying, why can't it be me? Why ain't I being used? Because you have turned your way from hearing the Most High's law. And your prayers are abomination. If you want your family to be blessed, you want your ministry to be blessed, you want your community to be blessed through your prayers, you better get back to this law, statute, commandments, and these holy days. Now, let's end it off tonight. Let's go to Hebrews 12. Let's go to Hebrews 12. And let's end it off tonight with this. Because of the circumstances that we were not fully lined up with, some of you right now may be in a place of, you may be getting disciplined. You may be getting, corrected. Things may not be going your way. You're trying to get out of this valley that you're finding yourself in. And it's like this right here. Let's go to Genesis 3 right quick. Sorry, it's going to go here right quick. Let me show y'all something right quick. This is one of the things, and we're going to get back to Hebrews 12. I want to show you this. This verse right here, being misunderstood, is one of the main reasons why the whole Bible is misunderstood. Right? Let's go to Genesis 4D. Genesis 4. All right. I'm going to say this again. This verse right here, this wasn't in the notes. This had nothing to do with the lesson, but I wanted to bring this out. Yeah, I was right, D. Genesis 3. All right. This verse right here being misunderstood is the reason why the whole Bible is not understood. Because people take correction and what we deem as punishment from the Most High as a bad thing. So when the Most High says no, or the Most High says not now, or the Most High says not yet, we start seeing these things as a bad thing. Man, my queen was just discussing this yesterday, and that's what bringing it back to my memory, Shy, the conversation that me and you had last night. Because in your flesh, there are some things that you want right now. And when those things don't happen right now, you start looking at it as a bad thing. You start looking at it as, Most High don't love you. You start trying to come up with these humanly excuses. When I say humanly, I mean things that we would deem the reason why we don't get something like if I said something that Jay didn't like today, and then I call him tomorrow, like, yo, Jay, hey, yo, man, think you can let me get $10? And he'd be like, nah. And then he don't do it. I don't think in my mind, maybe he ain't got it. I start saying, well, right, probably that's what I said last night, man. And we start doing that with the Most High. You understand? And I think it all stems from the misunderstanding of this verse that I'm about to bring out here. When you ask the average Christian, or I would just say, I'm not going to put this all on Christians. You ask the average person who believes in the Bible, why was Adam and Eve kicked out of the garden? And they would say, because they sinned. Nah, that's not factual. Let me show you what happened. Watch this. Let's go to Genesis 3, verse 22. Watch this.
And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever.
You see, the problem was, ladies and gentlemen, that it wasn't the fact that the Most High was punishing them. Adam had died. When you go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, and the Most High told him that if you eat of that tree of good and evil, you would die. He didn't understand the depths of what that death meant. Romans 6:23 says that the wages of sin is death, right? So that meant he went from a heavenly, angelic immortality state to a fleshly, mortal, sinful state, which means that whatever the earth and carnality will bring upon him, if he touched that tree of life, he will be in that state forever. Let me explain that. You ever been depressed? You ever been sad? Imagine being sad forever. You ever been sick? Imagine being sick forever. Imagine contracting, getting cancer and dealing with the pain and the deformity of the bodies and all these things forever. You ever had your heart broke? Imagine dealing with a broken heart forever. You see that? Now, when you look at it from that point, from that position, getting out of the garden now turns from punishment to what? Grace. Because he knew Adam and Eve been in that sinful state. Now, anything that they could bring in through the earth and through Satan being the ruler of this earth now, they would have had to live in that situation if they stayed in the garden with the tree of life. So, ladies and gentlemen, you being led away from something that you desire, it's not punishment. It's grace. You understand? Christian church has completely manipulated what grace is. Apostle Curry the other night said that grace is a new form of man's manipulation. I misquoted exactly what he said, but it was powerful. That's a Christian pastor, by the way. He said grace is the most, I'm misquoting exactly what he said, but he said grace is the new church form of manipulation. We're saying that basically they're using grace to manipulate and do whatever they want to do. That was a Christian pastor that said that. The man getting kicked out of the garden, ladies and gentlemen, was not a punishment, it was grace. And until we understand this God, you're going to misunderstand the God that you're experiencing today. You understand that? Now let's go to Hebrews 12 with that understanding. Watch this. Hebrews 12. And let's look at verse 5.
As ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children, my son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
Mm-hmm.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he
You
receiveth.
see that? So you forgot the fact that the reason why you're being punished and corrected, chastened by the Most High, is because He loved you. You understand? That's what it's about. So that's one of the things that you're asking right now. Why can't it be me? Why not now? It's because He loves you. He don't want you to ruin this good thing that He has for you. Watch this. Verse 7.
If you endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons.
So if you can endure the chastening, if you can endure the discipline, He will deal with you as what?
As with sons.
Mm-hmm.
For what son is whom the father chasteneth not?
And now look at your community. Look at the children who have never been disciplined and worked in their lives. I'm not talking about, we love to talk about those ones that, man, we got beat with switches and drop cords. I'm not talking about you had a wicked parent, an unstable parent that just beat you for no reason and tried to kill you when you had powered up stuff. Nah, I'm talking about you broke a rule, boom, discipline for that rule breaking. Now you done broke rule for 2 weeks and now I'm drunk and mad, I had a bad day at work and I'm just unleashing on you. That's not discipline. That's anger. That's abuse. That's abuse. You understand? Nah, that's not discipline. The fathers that love their children discipline and correct them. That's what the Most High is saying to you. He loves you. That's why He's disciplining and correcting you. Watch this. Verse 8.
But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
He said, listen, if I'm not chastening you, if I'm not correcting you, let me know. Let you know that you're not my child. If you're out in the mall, you're out at the grocery store, you can see a child wilding and just doing whatever they doing, just crazy, just spazzing out. But because they're not your child, even though you want to, you're not going to say a word. You're not going to apply the switch and whoop that child. You're not going to do anything because they're not yours. You understand? Watch this. Verse 9.
Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall not much more rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
Right.
For they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure.
So they had their own rules. They had their own standards of what it is they wanted, they expected of you. And those standards, if those standards was not met, if their rules was broken, they whipped you because of those standards, because of those rules. But look at what the Most High said.
he for our profit.
But he for what?
But he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness.
That's the only reason he's correcting you. Not for his good. He ain't getting off on it. It's for us. So you can be partakers of what?
Of his holiness.
Of his holiness. That's the whole purpose. Watch this, verse 11.
Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous.
So at the time when it's going down and you dealing with it, they don't seem joyous. No, it's not a good thing. You're not bragging about, the whoopers and being held accountable. No, you're not. But what?
Nevertheless, afterwards it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.
You see that? But afterwards, when you actually come out of that thing, it does what?
It yieldeth the peaceable fruit.
It brings peaceable fruit
of righteousness. Unto them which are exercised thereby.
Now you will turn around and be able to exercise and live out righteousness as a result of being disciplined to be partakers of that holiness. It works out in your favor. Watch this, verse 12.
Wherefore lift up the hands.
Lift up your hands.
Which hang down, and the feeble knees. And make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed.
He said, listen, man, stop complaining. Stop trying to make up excuses. Stop all this. Man, God, man, what he done to me? Stop doing that. Stop doing this. Listen, stop with the social media stuff. Not doing the woe is me every time you come across your brothers. Take your discipline like a man. Take your correction like a man. Man up and get them moving, right? Verse 13. Verse 14.
Follow peace with all men.
Follow what?
Follow peace with all men.
Nah, just with Israelites.
Follow peace with all men.
Nah, just the ones who calling on your God.
Follow peace with all men.
Not with Gentiles, though.
Follow peace with all men.
With all men.
And holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
You got to understand, gentlemen. You're not going to be able to see the Most High. You will never be able to stand before the Most High without holiness. You understand? It ain't going to happen.
It's an exciting time at camp.
It ain't going to happen. Okay? You must understand that. You must understand that. Verse 15.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springeth up, trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
Read that again, D.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness spring up, trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
By many, that root of bitterness. This is where I wanted to get to. Many of you are bitter and upset and angry of what you've been going through, and you're got so much animosity and hate built up inside of you that when it comes your time for your breakthrough, that stuff trips you up and it defiles you to the point now you can't even get to the next level because you're looking at everybody with the evil eye and you're always upset, and the people that the Most High is sending to bless you, you can't even receive no help because you're so caught up on the people that failed you or didn't do that or didn't support you or wasn't there when you thought you needed them. You got to let this bitterness go. You got to forgive people. You understand? But watch this, verse 17. Verse 16.
Lest there be any fornicators or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Now, I want to stay for a second here and we end out. Now, I know some Israelites have a problem with the book of Jasher, but that's on them. I'm not finna debate Jasher tonight. I read the fullness of the story of Esau when he sold his birthright to Jacob for that bowl of soup in the book of Jasher. And when you read it in Jasher, you get a more of an understanding of what really was going on. When Jasher was out in the woods hunting, and he came across Nimrod, and some of Nimrod's soldiers, and they tried to kill him. And Nimrod and the soldiers tried to kill Esau, and he was fighting for his life out there. You understand? Like he fighting mad men and had to run all the way back home, and men were still chasing him. So he was about faint. He was at the point of passing out when he came up to Jacob. And Jacob said, listen, hey, let me get that birthright, B. And because he was so fearful of him not living to the next day, he sold that birthright for one meal. Do you know our brothers and sisters right now are doing the same thing? You're giving up your actual birthright as an Israelite to remain to be called a Christian, to remain called an African American, to remain connected to the things of America and all your organizations, because you're thinking that these things are going to be more beneficial to you than what being an Israelite could be in the long run when it's time for the kingdom. I had this conversation with someone that I love dearly last year when they sat us down, me and my brothers, and we was trying to wake them up, and the person said to us, so you knowing you Israel, what has it done for you now? And I said, everything. That's not an answer. When this really was the answer. They kept trying to get us to say, well, it's gonna bring you a car, or it's gonna bring you a house, or it's gonna bring you money, because that's what the Christian church teaches. In Christianity, the blessing can be spelled out with a house, money, debt-free, and all those things are great. Don't let me belittle those things. So that's one of the things that our Christian brothers and sisters struggle with, because when we are trying to get them to embrace their heritage and their culture, because it doesn't come with a debt cancellation card or access to a job or a bigger house or these things materialistically, they feel like as if being an Israelite don't matter. It's no different than being a Christian. Well, I bring the mind to what it says. Matter of fact, let's go to that, D. Let's go to Hebrews 11. Watch this. Let me show you what Moses did. Let's go to Hebrews 11. We're about to end it off. Let me show you this. Let's go down to 25. Let's go to 24. In Hebrews 11 and 25. Watch this.
24, 25.
Mm-hmm.
By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
You see that? Moses was known as Pharaoh's daughter's son. And he said, you know what? I'm going to put all this to the side, and I'm going to go and suffer the afflictions of my people, because that's who I really am. Not only that, but watch this, verse 26.
Esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasure at Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
Moses' focus was on, because he knew, according to the Bible, of the words of his, not the Bible, but the words of his ancestors, what Abraham had spoke, that there was going to become a Messiah that was going to rescue their people and lead them back to the kingdom. So he says, me being a son of the Pharaoh in the world's richest country in the world cannot be measured with what's going to come to me when I make it to the kingdom because of Messiah. You see that? What that makes more sense now when we're talking about over here in Hebrews 12? That's a physical example for you for what an Israelite was willing to throw aside for what was coming. And many of you right now are Esau. You're giving up this pleasure right now, this eating right now, this happiness right now, this joy right now, this fame and celebrity right now. And you're devaluing what the Most High got coming for you down the road. You understand? Read that again back over Hebrews 12, verse 17 again. Verse 16 again.
Lest there be any fornicator.
So many of you right now, because you're so caught up in women and fornicate you got to get every bad chick that come across. you're ruining the opportunity to have the wife that the Most High has for you. For those who are just coming on, go back to the beginning of the lesson when we address the purpose of a good wife. And what else?
Or profane person.
Or profane person who's just belligerent, wilding, doing anything. You're cutting off of your blessings. Many of you right now, the way, especially I'm talking about to my Israelites, the way you're looking at and addressing Gentiles, when they get rough, you ain't gonna have nowhere to turn to. You understand? Go ahead.
As Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Verse 17.
For you know how the afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
So when it was time for him to get the blessing, to get everything, he was rejected, and what?
For he had found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
With tears, he cried, I need it, Father, please. And it was no. So I'm trying to prevent you from getting to that place that Esau was in. And accept this place that you're in right now and wait on the Most High. They give him Isaiah 40 and 31. We end off with that. We end off with that. Isaiah 40 and 31.
But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
You see that? You got to wait on the Most High. So I ask you the question again tonight. Why can't it be you? Why can't it be you? You understand? Tonight we'd like to give all praise and honor to Ahia, Bahashem Yeshaya, Royal Walk, for everything that took place tonight. For those of you not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High, in the name of Christ as well as the Holy Spirit. We thank the Most High for everything that took place tonight. We pray that our men were inspired. We pray that you was encouraged. We pray that you were empowered to continue to walk in the blessings of the Most High. We pray that you just continue to allow the Spirit to lead you to all truth. And know that the Most High's law, according to Psalms 119, verse 142, is truth. We want you to continue to be encouraged. Tomorrow on the Sabbath, make sure you get you some good rest, worship, and spend time with the Most High. Continue to pray for your loved ones. Continue to do what thus says the Most High according to the Sabbath. Just continue to be steadfast, as we always say, continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding to the work of the Most High. You know what we always say, fellas, and queen, my queen, all praise unto the Most High, Ahia. So we thank you for those that are with us and continue to pray for us. And by way of announcement, this Tuesday we will be getting back on at 7 p.m. sharp, Transformation Tuesdays. I want to thank those who have been joining us on Transformation Tuesday. It has been, as my queen say, bomb.com. It's been crazy. We've been getting a lot of good questions, and people have been getting edified, and the Most High has been getting glorified. It's just been crazy, man, and we thank the Most High. And so we're putting it out here now. You can start tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. If you have a question in which you want to be addressed on Transformation Tuesdays, all you got to do is to send me or Deep or Judah Culture on here or Shamala Hall on here. You send them inbox, and we will definitely address your question. Shalom, Daniel. Good seeing you on with us tonight. All praise to the Most High. As I said, just give us a question, send us an inbox, and we will address your question. We are also going to offer this time for those who watch with us live If you like to come on to the live and ask a particular question, we're going to give you that option as well. But we're going to do it all in love. We're not going to attack people, as we always say. Don't ask any particular questions about a particular church, particular person, particular camp, people's beliefs. Just biblical things that you're trying to get answers with. And we will address those things. Dick, you got anything? Like we always say, we love you. If you need any more clarification on anything that we dealt with tonight, you be sure to hit us up. As we say, we love you. We're praying for you guys. Kwame Yasharala. Shouts out to my man's, one of my peoples down there that we met down there from Tampa Bay, Florida. It's this track right here, We the People. So we're going out on that tonight. So I said, Shalom, Kwame Yasharala. Shema Israel. Y'all look him up. His name is Lorvins, Lorvins. Album is straight fire. Look at Suit. We the people.
We the people of the book. I stay humble, I ain't even boasting. I'm just here telling you facts. No more secret, it's gotta be spoken.
We rock
We
that
out here
job
living the
right there, bro. Rock that
life. We
job.
people, they say that we equal. So put your hands up in the sky. Represent for the chosen people. Melanin, yeah, we got a lot of it. I can see the fear in them when they look at it. I can understand it cause it's their nature. They don't fear God but concerned about some glaciers. They always wanna justify, find themselves not guilty. Fry so fucked up,
That's what it's on.
living in iniquity.
We the people. So all my people out there, Kwame Yasharala, Barakatah, Shalom.